Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this can be another movie review for you guys. Because as I told you guys, I am trying to watch more movies that came out this year, and this is one of the ones I ended up watching. I did end up getting this for my birthday money. You know, I got this the same day I got Luck. I told you guys this was like 17 bucks. This movie was also 17 bucks, and I wanted to see this movie for quite a long time. I even rented it, but I ended up not watching it just because of my classic movies and things like that. A lot of stuff just contemplated with it, and I just didn't have enough time to do it. Plus, I was doing stuff, and I just didn't have enough time to watch this movie. So I finally sat down, and I finally watched this movie, and that movie is The Grand Budapest Hotel. Now, I have heard countless things about this movie. Countless things. Everyone has praised this movie. Everyone says it's one of Wes Anderson's best movies. And I was really looking forward to it because of that. It even was getting like all this critical acclaim. Some people, were calling it one of the best movies of the year. Some people were calling it an Oscar contender even. And overall, do I think the movie deserves all the praise it gets? Yes, definitely it does deserve all the praise it gets. After watching this, The Grand Budapest Hotel really is a masterpiece. It really is fantastic. It is by far one of the best films I've seen all year, I think, definitely. Definitely one of the best films I've seen all year. Really love this movie. Love everything about this movie, and it's just a very good movie in my opinion. So let's just talk about what this movie's about. Basically, this movie's about this guy, this character named the Author. Now, we don't know who he is. His name is just the Author. We don't know much about him. And his character's not really that important, but we basically, he is important. He's important. He's a very important character because he's kind of the thing that gets this, that starts the whole plot in this movie. Basically, he is, it takes place in 1985, he's kind of recalling events that happened in 1985 about a trip he made to the Grand Budapest Hotel in 1968. He went to this hotel, and it's not a very good hotel. It's not a very good place to live, definitely. It's this Republic of Zubrowka, and it's not a good place to live. It's ravaged by, like, war and poverty, and the young Author, who's played by Jude Law, discovers that, the remote mountainside hotel has definitely fallen on hard times. It's not in very good shape at all. And basically, he encounters the hotel's owner, Zero. He's very old and everything. One afternoon, they agree to meet later that evening. So, Zero, he really wants to get to know this guy a little more, and he basically tells him, basically Zero, for whatever reason, does not want to close this hotel, and, the Author's very curious in why he doesn't want to close this hotel, so Zero decides to tell him the story of why. So then we flash back to 1932, where Zero was working as a bellboy alongside, Ralph Fiennes' character, who was the manager of the hotel at the time. And basically what ends up happening is that there's this old lady in the hotel, and she ends up dying. And she actually had this very expensive painting. Called, it's Gustav, A Boy with Apple. Boy with Apple, which was a very valuable painting in her will. And this really enraged her family because they all want to inherit it, especially her son. Her son, definitely, who lashes out at Gustav, and there's all this chaos and shit going on. So Gustav wants to do the best thing. He decides to take the painting and return it to Grand Budapest Hotel, basically just securing it so that way there won't be any of this crazy shit going on. But that ends up becoming a huge mistake because during this, ends up becoming a huge mistake because he ends up being arrested and imprisoned for the murder of her, and basically they have to, Zero has to rescue him to try to prove his innocence, and that's basically what the movie's about. Yes, I know it's a very complex plot, but that's part of what makes this movie so good. Now, definitely one of the things that makes the movie so good is the tone of this movie. The tone of this movie is just a lot of fun, definitely. This is a lot of fun. It's a very fun movie. Towards the end, not really, but for most of the movie, it's a lot of fun, definitely. Towards the end, not really, but definitely, as I said, for most of the movie, it is pretty much a lot of fun. It's a very fun movie to watch. So let's just get into the acting in this movie. First, we have Ralph Fiennes as the manager of the Hotel Gustav. He was very good in this movie. Very funny performance, definitely. Really cared about his character. He was definitely very good in the movie. Thought he did a very good job. Definitely had some great acting in the movie. Really enjoyed his acting in the movie, definitely. He was definitely stole the show. One of the best acting performances I think I've seen of 2014, definitely one of the best acting performances that, in my opinion, is Oscar worthy. I think he should definitely get an Oscar for this because he was definitely very good. And the thing is, guys, now if I talk about the rest of the acting in this movie has a huge cast, huge cast. Like, look at all the people on this Blu-ray right here. Look at all those people. So if I were to talk about all these people, I would be here all day, literally all day. If I were to talk about all these people, I'd be here all day, and I really don't want to do that. So only talking about a few other people. Tony Revololi as young Zero Mostava was also very, very good. I really like the chemistry between him and Gustav. You know, you really saw they had a really nice friendship. Really loved their chemistry. Thought they were also really good. And the only person I think I'll talk about is Cesario Ronan as Agatha. She plays Zero's fiance. Very important character. I'll talk about why when we get to the spoilers, but she was a very important character, and I really liked her character. She had a lot of chemistry with Zero. Thought they worked very well together, and I really enjoyed her acting as well. Those are really the only people I'll talk about. There's also Jude Law as the author. There are a bunch of other people I could talk about, but I'm not going to. And, yeah, so those are really the three main people we have. And now let's get to the directing of the movie. The director of this movie is Wes Anderson. Now, prior to seeing this movie, the only other Wes Anderson movie I've seen was Moonrise Kingdom, which in my opinion was a very good movie. Really enjoyed Moonrise Kingdom. Really was, really loved that movie. Definitely, that was one of my favorite movies of 2012 by far. And when I heard he was making this movie, I was definitely really looking forward to it. And was this movie better than Moonrise Kingdom? I think it's had a better story than Moonrise Kingdom, in my opinion. I still really do love Moonrise Kingdom. But honestly, yes, I do think this movie is better. I thought this movie was very good. One of the things that Wes Anderson movies do very well, and I actually heard someone, say something about this in a review, is that his movies do not seem very realistic or real. They seem very made up and not very real. And I can definitely understand why someone would say that, because this movie really, as I said, is not really meant to be taken all that seriously, and Wes Anderson definitely did that very well. Like, some of the scenes in here are very much taken out of, say, like, classic comedy. Classic comedy, definitely. Slapstick comedy. There's a lot of slapstick comedy in here, definitely, and I thought he did a very good job with setting the tone. The sets are very vibrant. The sets, and definitely, this movie has the record for the best sets of the year, definitely. This movie has the best sets, definitely. This movie should be nominated for Best Costume Set Design. Great costumes, great set design, everything looked great in this movie. You really felt like you were in the 1930s. When it was the 1980s, you felt like you were in the 1980s. When it was modern times, you felt like it was the modern times. When it was 1960s, you felt you were in the 1960s. The way they portrayed that in this movie was very well done, in my opinion. I really enjoyed that. Also, the other thing I gotta say is the screenplay was also very good in this movie. Definitely very good screenplay. Really enjoyed the screenplay of this movie as well. The cinematography in this movie was gorgeous. Gorgeous cinematography, as I said. Just gorgeous shots. Look at that scenery. Great scenery and things like that. The editing was fantastic as well. This movie's quite short. It's only 99 minutes, and, it flies by, definitely. It flew by real fast. I really was into the movie, and I was surprised when it was over. When it was over, like, oh, it's already over. All right. I was definitely surprised it was already over, and I definitely thought that was, very, very good. How quick the movie was, and if the movie was any longer, I don't think the movie would have been as good. It was good, the length it was, and didn't need to be any longer, in my opinion. So the other thing to talk about in this movie is the shift in tone in this movie. The first half of this movie, as I said, is very playful, very comedic, definitely. But then we get to, I'd say, like, the last 30 minutes is when the movie gets really dramatic and very, like, violent, definitely. You're probably going to wonder, why is this movie rated R? I kept thinking this movie was PG-13. It's rated R because it is so violent in that second half. That second half of the movie is very violent, and we'll talk about why. But now let's get into the spoilers so I can explain to you guys why. Basically, because of this whole thing going on with trying to prove his innocence, because of this, they have started a war, basically, and when that happened, that was so intense right there. A lot of shit was going on. That one gunfight was awesome. The choreography in that gunfight was awesome to watch. I thought they did a great job with that, definitely, and I really enjoyed that about that scene. Thought it was definitely very well done. But, of course, the saddest part of the movie is when we find out that Agatha was actually the thing that was actually, died 2 years later after, Zero inherited the fortune Gustav had left behind. When Gustav died, I was very shocked at that, definitely. It kind of makes sense because, it definitely does kind of make sense because, Gustav's not there and Zero's the manager. It does make sense, but when he died, I still was very shocked. I didn't expect that to happen. But of course, then when Agatha died, that's when we realized that the only reason he doesn't want to close this hotel is because of the fact that it is the last memory of Agatha that he has. It is the last link to Agatha. He loved Agatha. Agatha was the girl, was the, the woman of his life, the woman that he was in love with, the love of his life, and he really did love her, wanted to marry her, and of course she had to die, and that's really sad, definitely. So when we found out, that's when the movie got really sad. I was upset at that part, definitely. That's one of the things this movie did very well. As I said, it's not meant to be taken very seriously in the first half, but then it gets really dramatic, and I thought that's when the movie was very good. It was a shift in tone, and especially the end, they want you to feel sad, and you do feel sad. I definitely did feel sad, and I was surprised. It was like, why do I feel sad at this when the movie was, like, really funny a couple minutes ago? I was like, wow, the movie is doing a very good job with doing that, definitely, and I thought they did a really great job with that, and I really enjoyed that, definitely. That's one of the best parts of this movie. But overall, I really loved the Grand Budapest Hotel. Thought it was a very good movie. Really loved all the cameos, by the way, in this movie as well. Very good cameos. You got Tilda Swinton. You got a lot of, like, really, Owen Wilson, Jeff Goldblum, even Edward Norton stops by. So really good, performance in this movie. Really liked about this movie. And, yeah, so definitely really love this movie. Highly recommend all of you check out this movie because it really is fantastic. This movie is definitely going to crack my top 10 list. That's why I'm watching a lot of these movies, because these are movies that I'm thinking are going to crack my top 10 list, and this movie definitely will. And I really hope it does crack my top 10 list because I really did love this movie, and I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. That's in my review, The Grand Budapest Hotel. Let me know what you guys saw this movie, and my next video will be for another movie review. I actually rented 4 movies off of iTunes. I rented 4 movies off of iTunes. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a Skype call. So yeah, like I said, I rented 4 movies off of iTunes. Sorry, guys, I had a Skype call, and when I get a Skype call and I'm recording a video, it cuts off the video. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about that. Should have gone offline on Skype, but I didn't. So that's why this review was split into 2 parts. But yeah, so I have 4 movies to watch on iTunes, and probably one of the next movies I will be reviewing to is one of the movies off of iTunes. Also, guys, one other thing. I'm sure you guys are curious about my Letterboxd account, because I know I told you guys I got a Letterboxd account. The Letterboxd account, what I'm going to do is from now on, I'm going to put my Letterboxd reviews down below. I'm going to do that from now on. I think, honestly. So yeah, guys, that's really it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next review, which will be obviously for another movie review. So see you guys for that. I'm not going to say. Also, guys, check out my unboxing video. You guys can see some upcoming movies I will be reviewing. You guys can check that out. And yeah, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in my next video. Let me know what you guys saw of the Grand Budapest Hotel. Definitely. Is it your favorite Wes Anderson movie? I've heard people say it's Wes Anderson's greatest achievement. I kind of have to agree there. That's in my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.